listen here, girl. I know you think it's a game, but it is absolutely not, okay? This is the energy supplement from Just Move Supplements. That's right. It's damn near all gone, girl. And that's because I had to get that energy up so I can complete the workout, so I can give y'all this body, this transformation, get into it, okay? And I'm done working out now, so that's why we're moving on to the protein shakes. Oh yes, it's already in there, girl. It's already made right here. This is the mixture of the banana pudding, the chocolate cake, and the buttercream cupcake. And you really want to be fancy, you can go ahead and add that blueberry muffin if that's what you want to do, girl. But for me, it's these three right here, okay? You put that with some almond milk, you mix it all up in honey, okay? Your muscles have gained life, new energy, agility. Get into it, okay? Just Move Supplements. Thank you very much. Hold up, Chief. Okay, don't forget about that TLC NutriBurst to get that multivitamin probably, because we all need a little extra. And child, if you want that sea moss that go down smooth, don't come up rough, okay? Get into the TLC Nautica sea moss. Yes, get that from me. And child, if your stomach hurt and you need to move some things around so you can be free, okay, go ahead and get that ISOT down below in the description box. Get it all from me. Come on in, come on in, come on in, not come on in, not come. Sorry, y'all know I'm weird, whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Good afternoon. What's going on, people? How are we doing? How is everyone? Okay, listen. Thank you, Kenya, for being the first one in the building. Okay, what's going on? Hey, you put episode 17 instead of 7. You should change it. Okay, thank you so much. I will definitely look at that because child, I gotta fix it. I will. I feel like everybody knows what we're here for, though, right? We're gonna talk about Salt Lake City first, and then we're going to get into the finale episode of Porsha's Family Values. Thank you to everybody that came into the room. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay, so let me just go ahead and preface before I get into it. Listen, y'all like to play. Y'all do. Some of y'all like to play in people's face. Some of y'all, y'all tend to do the most sometimes in the comments. Okay? Even if you're a subscriber, some of y'all tend to do a lot. Y'all be trying to play people. And so sometimes as a YouTuber, I am in a space to like let shit roll off my shoulder. And I just look in the comments and I be like, black, whatever. And I move on from there and nobody worries about it. And then other times I'm going to be getting people together. And that's going to come out however it comes out. So do me a favor, don't get in your fucking feelings, because a lot of y'all like to do that as if YouTubers and people on social media that you follow are punching bags for you to say crazy shit to, or to come at sideways, prefacing it with a compliment. Also, you can try to play me on the back end as if I'm stupid or something. So yeah, I just want y'all to be careful because I'm on one. That's all. Just be careful. Thank you so much, Felicia B, for becoming a YouTube member. I just want everybody to know. Listen, it's right. It's episode 17 for Salt Lake City, not Porsha. Listen, that's the reason why I was like, because I specifically remember reading that from my guide on my television. That's why I was like, are my eyes that bad? I'll have to check that later. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Chocolate Diva, for the super chat. Cousin in my head, you cute as fuck. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I've had a fresh haircut for a few videos now. This isn't the first one. This is just maybe the first one that y'all have been in, okay? And the girl had to throw on a little makeup because y'all be making me feel like shit about my skin. So I decided to put on makeup as to not have anyone say anything to me about it today. So let's go ahead and get into Salt Lake City, okay? So we pick up where we left off, okay? We're on the Springer van. And Lisa has had it up to here with Jen screaming in her face trying to force her to make a decision between she and her friend Meredith, who is not there. Okay. Conveniently, Mary and Meredith have missed out on another opportunity to hear two bitches scream at each other for 7 hours or so, or however long it took to get to Zion, Utah, where they were going to luxuriate in a home that seemed a little lackadaisical in comparison to the home they were in at Vail. Makes me feel like Meredith should handle all of these trips from now on. Okay. But either way, a producer, okay, young black woman, had to keep them separated because Jen was getting all in Lisa's face, and Lisa's like, "You want to do it? Come on!" And then she like cowers in the corner, and Whitney's trying to hold her, and it's like, "Girl, I need for you to decide what you want to do. Do you want to box or do you want to cry? Do you want to run or do you want to confront your fears? Like, do you want to slap the shit out of Jen or do you want to hide behind Heather? Like, which one is it? Because it's a lot going on and I don't know exactly how to feel. Like, I don't. Okay. In one moment, I'm like, Jen, like I said last week, you are so lucky that nobody else in the room is as crazy as you are. Because if there was someone else in the room as crazy as you would be sitting yourself in your seat. Because when people really get with you, you bag the fuck back or you burst into tears and play victim, whichever you want to do, but it just wouldn't have been me. Okay. So when Lisa was doing all of this, I was like, Lisa, girl, like, are you a mean girl or are you a minion? It's giving minion. It's giving minion. Like, I can't deal with this. Oh my God. Like, you're an adult, Lisa. Like, I low-key was happy to see somebody getting in your ass, but at the same time, it's like, why are you going through these emotions? You're an adult. You're an adult. What's happening? Like, I just kind of felt like, toughen up, Lisa, because you just do a lot. You do a lot of confrontational, messy shit, all for you to lose your mind whenever someone tries to hold you accountable for your weird ass behavior, because you are weird and you do pretend as if you don't do anything, talking about, I'm not going to continue to try to bring these friendships together. Like, girl, stop. You were never trying to bring anybody's relationship closer. You weren't trying to fix shit. You were trying to be confrontational and play the puppet master. You told on yourself when you said that shit, but you were absolutely trying to start mess amongst the girls while hiding your hand and throwing a rock. That's what you were on, Lisa. And Jen is getting your ass together, but for the wrong reasons. Because Jen, who the fuck are you trying to force somebody to stop being friends with their friend? Like, girl, go to hell. We are adults. This is not the playground. I'm going to be friends with whoever I want to be friends with. And the fact that you still have this weird ass entitlement, like, oh my God, babe, come here. I'm sorry, you guys. Give me a moment. Okay, like, sorry, like, we're getting groceries into the house. There's a lot going on. Thank you, Lisa Joyous, for the super chat. We see the beauty without makeup, waiting for this review. Thank you so much. I know, but sometimes I just, I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand, like, low key how brave it is to do some simple shit like not put on foundation every time they get on camera just because they have a little hyperpigmentation, like, you know what I'm saying? And then people have to point it out to you and all of that type of shit, like as if you don't know what you look like. So it's just kind of weird. And so today I was just like, you know what, let's go ahead and take the extra mile of putting on makeup and then taking it off again before you work out, because you don't work out with makeup on, because that's just weird. But anyway, moving on from there. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Jen is drinking and drinking and drinking. Okay. So that's one of the things that's like pushing her with the extra shit. She's probably mixing alcohol with some of those prescriptions, or maybe she's not taking her prescription so she can drink. Because people that are on medications to keep them level, a lot of the times they can't drink when they take those medications. So if you're going to go on a girls trip, you're going to probably not take your medication so that you can drink once you get there. And now you're popping off, going fucking crazy, trying to fight your scared little, white homegirl in the corner because you want her to choose between you and Meredith, and it's just not going to happen. Okay. Lisa finally goes over to Jen because Jen starts screaming about she's doing this to my kid. My kid. You have no idea what I'm going through. She's doing all of the dramatics. And then Lisa goes over her. Listen, I'm going to come over to you. And if you just want to hit me, then fine. Okay. But I love you. Okay. And if someone is doing something to you intentionally, that they're sick. Okay. And I'm sorry that I hurt you. And if you need to kick the shit out of me, that's fine. But I don't want it to go that way. Okay. I love you. All right. I'm sorry. Girl, Lisa. Lisa, you're a minion. Lisa, you're not the head of the Mean Girl Squad. You're not. Like, just sit back. Just sit back and calm down sometimes. Like, stop trying to mastermind arguments and fights with people. Like, lay it down. Don't do it because you can't handle it when people come at you with that rah-rah shit that you invite when you do all of the things that you do behind the scenes, Lisa. Because when homegirl pressed you, you didn't know what to do. You lost your shit. I felt like I was looking at a 6-year-old not knowing what to do with their anger and their emotions. It was really sad to watch. There's some underdevelopment there. You should definitely like getting therapy. I know you think because you make a lot of money, oh my God, that means that everything's okay, but obviously not. Like you should go and deal with your issues, but then that would mean you would have to confront the things about yourself that aren't the greatest. And we can tell that you're not going to do that. Remember? Like you love yourself enough for the both of us, right? You're never going to be introspective. I'm sorry, but a lot of the times I feel like white women with money don't have to be introspective. They don't have to look at themselves and how they treat the people around them. Like they just don't. They don't have to. Okay. They have the luxury of living in a society that is basically, altered for their comfort. So, why deal with things that make me uncomfortable when I live in a world that tells me I don't have to because I'm a white woman? What do you mean? Get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the vibe that they give. I'm sorry. What else happened? Mary and Meredith did something. Oh yeah. Jen says that she finds out that Mary and Meredith had something to do with what happened to her, she's really going to be upset about it. And, everybody's like, pressing, acting like they called the federale hood on her. I told you, I think that Meredith investigating her means she knows more information than the rest of the group. It doesn't mean that she like started the investigation. Like, I don't think anybody thinks that Meredith started the investigation. Like, I don't think that at all. Okay. But I do think when you know people and you've already decided to hire a PI and your PI got a cop buddy and you can give them a little bit of information, okay, so you can have a good federale hood in your back pocket in case anybody or yourself ever needs help with anything, then you can give them a ring because you gave them this bug about where Jen was going to be at a certain time when you weren't going to be around because you're not going to be on a bus with these bitches for any long extended period of time. I don't understand why that's not in like, an obvious thought process for what could have happened here. Especially when the clout that some of these women have, the money some of these women have, the connections some of these women have. Why is that so? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of feel like it's not far-fetched to believe that she could have given the federale hood a heads up on where and when she would be somewhere, just so it would make it easier for them to come in, snatch her up. Not that they started it, but that she found out that it was already happening and figured she could reach out to somebody. And it could have been Bravo. She could have had absolutely nothing to do with it except for knowing ahead of time that something was going to happen. Now that I feel like definitely happened. I definitely feel like Meredith knew something was going to happen prior. She did. I don't think Mary knew, not on her own. I think Mary just doesn't want to be in small spaces with those women. And she's only really cool with Meredith. So if Meredith isn't there, then what am I there for? Like, that's kind of what it's seeming like recently. Okay. But either way, they kiss and make up, and then Whitney and Heather do the punk shit. I think we should give Jen the best room. Why should we give Jen the best room? Because she's being investigated for doing something that she very possibly could have done. So that means that she deserves the biggest room because they haven't proven that she's guilty yet. Get the fuck out of here, Whitney and Heather. Y'all are doing way too much. Y'all are doing way too much. Okay. So y'all, Jen, like I told y'all, was drinking, right? So she ends up drunk at the pool. You know, I think I saw her tits at one point. She fell in the water. She didn't care. It was a good time. We also find out that even though Jenny is from Vietnam, which is basically swampland, she cannot swim because they don't teach you how to swim. You either gonna learn from jumping in the water or you're not gonna learn how to swim. Mary and Meredith get together. I mean, they get there together. And Heather and Whitney kind of hide from them at first. But then once they're looking through the rooms, and this is when we see how small these rooms are, they finally say hello to them. And then they all are kind of in the bathroom. And Heather and Whitney give them the heads up on what happened when they were all on the bus. And Mary is mad that she missed it because she wanted to see the fight. Whitney has plans for everyone. So everyone is supposed to dress in all white so they can go out into the desert and, cleanse their chakras and, kind of have like a moment of, putting everything out on the table and just dealing with the group's issues. Whitney's trying to have a moment. And Mary and Meredith getting there late cut her moment short. First of all, she had to run through the house to scream for everybody to come on because they were running late. This forces Meredith to just wear the terrible jean outfit that she was wearing when she got there when they go to the desert, okay? Then they end up leaving Mary there and sending the sprinter back for her. So everyone is participating in this, shaman-like ritual that they're doing. And it was very beautiful. Like, the way it was all set up, the scenery of it all, it was all very beautiful. And everyone was having, seemingly having a good time and a good experience with it. And then Mary gets there and decides that she doesn't want to participate. Not that she doesn't believe in it, but she has her God. And I'm just kind of like, this doesn't surprise me about Mary, but it's very obnoxious that people have to come and listen to you scream with your wig on in your cult-like church and give donations and shit, even though it's not their jizz, but they still support you and you can't come beat on a drum and walk in a circle because it goes against Jesus. Girl, go to hell. Go to hell. Y'all walk in circles in church, okay? I have seen it before. And I have also seen people have drums in the church. I believe you have a full band that includes drums in your church. Do you not? Like, I just hate when people take very simple things and turn it into something else also that they can be disrespectful and not show the same amount of respect to someone else that they require. Like, I would never respect her shit after that. It will always be referred to as a cult to me. I was like, oh, so how's your cult doing? Are they paying? Did your cult pay for that? That's beautiful. Oh my God, you're so lucky. I'm sorry. I would be disrespectful as shit to Mary because she doesn't give a fuck. So I would be disrespectful to her whenever the thought came up in my head, just like she's disrespectful to everybody else whenever the thoughts come in her head. Okay. Anyway, moving on from there, everyone who participated felt great. They go to dinner. Meredith is able to change into something, more fitting for the event. I believe Jen went and changed from all white into a snakeskin dress, which is like, why are you always like bringing attention to how much of a snake in the grass you are? Remember, she wanted to buy the lady snakes for jewelry, and someone was like, yeah, don't do that. And then you go and change from white, which was supposed to be cleansing and everything, to now being in the snakeskin. Okay, letting us know, Jen, letting us know. Either way, Whitney felt a way about Mary and Meredith being late. She said they were supposed to do the fire pit and they ended up not being able to do it because they were late, But Whitney, dinner is another opportunity for everyone to argue. So just take a deep breath and carry on, okay? Whitney asked Meredith why she didn't join them on the bus. And Meredith is like, well, I had to take my husband to a doctor's appointment and it really doesn't matter. I just needed my time, okay? And Meredith says, I'm really sorry, Whitney, that I screwed up your plan. I'm sorry about that. But it did seem kind of like with an attitude like, girl, you pressing me and don't nobody care. I'm sorry. Okay. Will you please leave me the fuck alone? Like, that's the vibe it was giving. Heather asked Mary if she's going to apologize. And Mary's like, no, No. For what? I'm not sorry. All right. And Jen says that she feels like Mary is being honest and Meredith is just saying what everyone wants to hear. I was like, you would be correct. You would be correct. Meredith says, I don't think you know me at all. And then they start going back and forth about who knows who and who knows what about which one. It's very messy. And we're all insinuating that there's some secrets amongst Mary and Meredith that are not being disseminated amongst everyone in the group. And that means us. Okay. There's something we don't know and we don't like it. We want to know. Okay. Meredith says that ever since Seth's birthday party, she's been feeling a way about the way the women questioned her and attacked her. And I'm like, Meredith, you are doing the fucking most. Nobody attacked you. They asked you questions about the situation with Mary, about the situation with Jen, and you know shit that you don't want to tell anybody. But then you got mad when Lisa was doing that to y'all, knowing information but not telling anybody. You're obnoxious as fuck when it comes to people trying to get information out of you. And now you're going to act like somebody did something to you. Whitney and them didn't do anything to you when he questioned you about what information you may know about Jen or Mary, whichever fucking cult, taking advantage of old people ass bitch we talking about in the moment, because it can be either or. Mary knows more information about Mary and Jen than the rest of the girls. So what the fuck is really hood? And you sitting up here acting like they did something to you, and that's the reason why you came to this dinner with all of this attitude, Meredith. I'm not feeling that at all. I don't agree. Okay. Lisa and Jenny then decide to bring up how Meredith was so uncomfortable with being invited to events with Jen. And it's like, well, she's been at all of these fucking events with Jen, so I don't even know why we're talking about this shit. She's literally sitting one person away from her. Why are we talking about that, Jenny and Lisa? Like, why are we bringing that up? I just felt like they were trying to be messy in that moment. And so, Meredith says that she was surprised, you know what I'm saying? Especially since you called her a criminal. And Jenny is like, I did not call her a criminal. I never said that. They didn't play back the video, so I'm going to assume she did not say that. But y'all will let me know in the comments, I'm sure. Jenny says she didn't call her that, and Mary says she's just really disgusted. I'm just like, oh my God, girl, give me a fucking break. Like, now we know where Brooks gets it from. Just so over exaggerating how bothered you are by something, or how bothered you should be by something, for someone that likes to act unbothered, with their shoulder pads. Whitney says, I have a question for you. I was like, oh shit, Whitney's on one. Jen has been nasty to you. Mary has been really nasty to me. Why do you stand by Mary? And Meredith, says, I'm not asking you to stand by Jen. Whitney says, did you hear my question? Meredith says, yes, I heard your question. And I feel like if Jen is a good friend to you, then you should stand by her, because Mary was a good friend to me when no one else was. And Lisa was like, well, I feel like I was a good friend to you. It's like, no, bitch, you decided to be friends with Jen Shaw when Jen Shaw was out here attacking my family, bitch. You was not being my friend. In so many words. Whitney and Jenny point out that Mary is the meanest person there, and no one ever calls her out on it. I'm like, what is Meredith, the fucking mother? What is she supposed to defend everybody? Defend yourselves. Oh my God. Mary says that Whitney is really funny. And Whitney says, I'm not funny. I'm real. Okay. Thank you for laughing at my feelings, Mary. He's like, okay, whatever. Very dismissive and disrespectful, of course. Okay. Whitney starts going at Meredith. How am I supposed to feel, Meredith? You're flying in with a woman that's terrible to me. Okay. How am I supposed to feel? And it's just like, girl, don't nobody care. That's basically what they saying. We don't fuck with you enough to care. Like, look how much Lisa and Meredith fuck with each other. And Lisa still decided to be friends with Jen, even though Jen was out here showing her pussy to everybody and then getting mad when they asked her to put it away in bullying a little boy on the internet and all of that. Okay. Child, let Meredith tell it. Okay. Jenny brings up the fact that Meredith didn't check Mary when she made the eyes comment. I was talking about this fucking eye comment again. Why didn't Meredith stand up for her? It's like, first of all, y'all are not friends like that, so I don't think she will. Meredith says that she was clear that she would not say something like that. She was very clear, okay? And then Meredith starts crying, disengages. I'm disengaging, and she walks away, right? And of course, at this point, they're like, well, who the fuck's going to go run after her and get her and bring her back to this table? Because this scene is not over. And they send Mary after her. And Mary was like, I just want to eat my steak. Like, potatoes. Like, I just want to eat. Like, why? And why are you running away from them anyway, Meredith? Like, like, and it's like, well, bitch, why was you running from everybody at the reunion show? Talk to us. I know you not talking because you ran from the reunion show. Jen eventually comes back to the table after she finished picking food off them people plates in the kitchen. And then Meredith and Mary follow behind. And Jen wants to know why Meredith hired a private investigator to investigate her. And Meredith says, I had everybody investigated because someone was threatening my family. Okay. And Jen says, well, Jenny told me that that's what you said. And Jen says, well, yeah, that's what she said. She said, then why were you trying to make it all about me? Why didn't you tell them? It's like, well, I was talking to you, bitch. Why would I tell them if it was just me and you? And that didn't even make sense. The point is that Meredith never specified that she had everybody investigated. She never said that. She said she had Jen's ass investigated, and they were pretty sure it was her, which Meredith copped to. But at the end of the day, child fuck, Jen Shaw, what is you screaming and howling at Jenny's ass for when she was really just trying to have your back and let you know what them hoes was saying when you wasn't there? That's what was going on. And now you're trying to flip it on her and scream at her. Jenny don't take it personally. She screams at all of her friends. And Meredith just basically said, you've been terrible to my family. Just admit it. And Jen says, you've been awful to my family. Your son said he saw my vagina. And this is when Meredith lost her shit. They did see your vagina over and over and over and over again. And they asked you to cover it up and you didn't cover it up. Your vagina was out. You absolutely showed your vagina to my kids. Okay? Like, she got all in her face. Meredith was like, and get out of my personal space, okay? Get out of my face. Y'all, when I tell y'all, Meredith losing her shit was hilarious to me. And then Jen says that she better not have had anything to do with these fucking charges against her. And Meredith gets up and says, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. You want to get all in my face? I'm done. I'm disengaging, sweetheart. She walks away. Jen says, you're fucking fraudulent. Because, she loves calling people that. Meredith opened the door back up and said, who's a fraud? Who's committing fraud? I was just like, oh, we are catching and throwing out this motherfucker, okay? And then Jen threw right back, won't you ask your 10 other fucking boyfriends? I said, not 10 other fucking boyfriends, bitch. Where are they? Where are they? And did Meredith tell you that? Did Meredith tell you that she had 10 other boyfriends? Did she tell you about these boyfriends when you were friends, bitch? I need details. I need to understand. I need to understand what is going on, because I feel like you just throwing that out there to spite that lady, but I also feel like it is probably very, very, very it's a possibility that Meredith is out here fucking over Seth. Like, it is absolutely a possibility, and I want to know the truth. So don't bring it up if you're not gonna give us the tea. Don't throw it out there if you don't have any evidence. Okay? Child, Jen Shaw ain't shit. She can never take responsibility for anything. And it's really, really sad. Y'all, Mary is terrible, but I find her hilarious. She's terrible, but I find her hilarious. Meredith has been giving, okay? Whitney has been giving, even though Whitney is like on the cusp of giving Karen. I like how Heather is kind of more common sense than anybody else in the room. So she kind of just sits back and watches it all play out. And I don't like Jenny. I think she wants to be a part of the clique so bad that she's okay with being problematic, bringing the same shit up over and over again, just so she can have beef with the person that they've all designated they wanted to have beef with this season, which is Mary. Oh, those are groceries. Lyric. Okay. But yes. Oh, okay. So it's on the blogs. Okay. Meredith is still effing around, but I think, listen, Seth ain't never home. And we ain't talking about home like he at work, he gonna get here tonight. No, we talking about Seth don't never be here like Seth got an apartment in another state. You think he not fucking around on her? I think whatever them people got going on is them people business. What didn't they have, babe? They ain't have no cereal. They ain't have no pops. I mean, no Rice Krispie trees. They didn't have no Fruit Loops. Man, that's so disrespectful. What Rouses did they go to? A Winn Dixie? Anyway, they need to restock. This is why sometimes I have to go to the grocery store by myself, you know? Anyway, y'all, Mary is crazy, but the only honest one to me. She's really not that honest, okay? I forgot to even watch this. I'm wasting DVD space. Too funny. Y'all, everybody wants to call me because I'm recording right now. Everybody wants to call me. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold up. Let me text my mom. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound. All right, I had to do that. Meredith and Seth are like Will and Jada. Do you think so? Do we think Justin is okay with Seth steady talking about Whitney's boobs? On one of those scenes, he had an awkward smile. He never really says anything when he does it. Yeah, I don't think he does. I don't think he does like that. I know that people think that they, swap couples and shit like that. But that doesn't mean I want you referencing my wife's tits in front of everybody all the time. However, I don't think that Justin, even if it bothers him for him to say it in casual conversation, I don't think it bothers him that Whitney got a cake with her tits on it. You know what I'm saying? It's a food supply shortage in the stores, girl. Is it? That's crazy. When I went to the store last week, it didn't feel that way. Like I got everything I needed when I went in that bitch last week. We had all of the cereal last week. Mary lies all the time. No one on this cast is super likable. They all are meh. But if I had to choose a favorite, it would be Meredith. I agree, Yasmin. I do think Mary lies all the time. She lied when she, said she didn't call Jen a Mexican thug. You absolutely called that lady a Mexican thug. You fucking prejudiced, weird ass, self-hating bitch. Why is Jen acting like she didn't show people her vagina, even if it wasn't intentional? She did. She intentionally showed them people her vagina. I remember that episode. She was holding her legs open. She was absolutely holding her legs open. That was Whitney's passive aggressive way of saying, stop talking about my tits. Was it? Is that the way? Okay. I don't know. I don't know if you can get somebody to stop talking about your tits by giving them a cake of your tits. I didn't know that that's how that works. Because to me, it would make me then want to reference when you brought the tit cake to my party that one year. Do you remember that? That was amazing. It tastes great. Who made that? I'm going to bring up the tit cake whenever we have parties. Like what? I want. I wonder if it does bother Whitney, because Whitney likes for people to find her attractive, but at the same time, the way he brings it up, it's almost, people wonder if Seth is gay. People have questioned if he brings it up as a way to try to come off as more masculine than he really is. Who knows? Who knows? Bonnie, these reenactments are everything to me. Thank you so much. I'm glad y'all enjoy the lives. I think it makes Meredith uncomfortable too. She always gives awkward laughs. She does, but nobody's going to say anything because Seth is allowed to do whatever Seth wants to do, I'm sure. Yeah, she said now he doesn't have to mention it anymore. Oh, okay. Okay, I read that one. Are you going to review Salt Lake City fashions or lack thereof? Yes, I'm gonna talk about it when we get to the reunion show. Because if I talk about it before we get to the reunion show, what are we gonna talk about when we get to the reunion show? I need for the reunion show to at least be, fashions at the beginning. We've gotten the looks ahead of time. They're terrible, but we can go through them specifically on the day of. Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to Porsha's Family Matters now. So y'all know what y'all need to do for me in the interim, right? Please and thank you. Okay. So I listen, I want to say this. I didn't say that I thought that Seth was gay. I said that people had said that because of the way he was referencing the tits. Just saying, someone threw that out there and I read that and I was like, well, that's interesting. Don't know if I feel that way exactly though. Sometimes I just tell you things that I see online doesn't mean I necessarily feel that way. But yes, Porsha's Family Matters. Porsha's Family Matters finale. They cut it short. We didn't need to see any more. There was nothing else to see. You can tell that this show was supposed to be about the civil rights of it all, and it ended up being about the mess of it all. I think it went from being about civil rights to being about Dennis, Daddy, to then being about Porsha and Dennis and how their relationship has dissolved because he didn't want to be in a committed relationship with her and she wanted to live in delusional la la land and think that she could force this man to watch her be with another man and nanny boo boo in her face and him not do the same to her. Like it's just it just turned into something it wasn't supposed to be about. Okay. And at the end of the day, Porsha, the family doesn't matter. The family doesn't matter at all, girl. You might as well have fucked fuck Terry's husband or something like that. Faith, fuck my husband. You might as well have been Faith fucking Terry's husband, okay, at the birthday party, bitch, with the way you don't give a fuck about your family. Like that's what you could have done. And we would have forgave you. But like the way you are making a mockery of your family's history with Aunt Liz, you know what I'm saying? In the Feed the Homeless Hosea situation, I almost felt like you were lying to us about why you didn't show up for the benefit at the end of the episode. I feel like the only reason the benefit at the, that happened the way it was filmed and everything was because that was supposed to be a come to Jesus moment with she and Dennis and with Mama Gina. Probably it was supposed to be everybody gets back together from who was on the trip and we can maybe resolve some things once all of the real business of feeding the homeless and everything and going through the building is over with and the history lesson of it all. But Porsha didn't even show up. I'm glad that they still filmed it and still put it in. And, I guess, of course, her sending Dennis' daddy in her place was supposed to do something for us. All it did was make him look like a complete and total asshole. He hasn't said anything the entire show. And when he did open his mouth, he decided to say something crazy as hell up out of it. So this was just all disappointing, disjointed, weird as fuck. Like just a lot of mixed feelings going on about the show as a whole. But let's go ahead. Her recording that video was strange to me. What video? The video of the baby in the hospital? What video? Let me know. Okay. So y'all, Porsha asked Dennis if he wants to come in and talk when he comes to drop baby PJ off, right? She wants to talk about the surgery situation and what the schedule is going to be. And he doesn't really want to come in because he has somewhere else to be. Okay. She was like, you're not going to turn into a pillar of salt. He was like, shit, I may. Okay. She doesn't apologize. And Dennis says in the confessional that Porsha never apologizes. I said, that is not a good sign. It is not a good sign for a grown-ass person to never feel the need to apologize or take accountability for their actions. That is extremely like a red flag, upsetting, sad, if you will. And there was really nothing to it. They're going to be together in a small little hospital room with their baby in a few days. So, we'll see how it all shakes out. Aunt Liz and Lauren talk about how the Hosea event is coming up. Aunt Liz says that she's proud of Lauren and that Lauren did change those people on that trip. And she had the best intentions and she was right from the beginning. And I said, listen, Aunt Liz, I know you want everybody to feel all warm and gooey on the inside and everything, but don't bullshit now. Okay? Don't be out here bullshitting now. Okay? Okay? Because you're bullshitting right now is what I'm saying. Okay? She did not change anybody. If she really had changed anybody, if what she did had really changed anybody, they would have had a different outcome. But at the end of the day, what I do understand is that Lauren did have the best of intentions. And if people had actually applied what Lauren was trying to do, then maybe it would have worked out differently. But the entire time, Porsha and Simon were not really involved the way they should have been. Simon comes off as somebody that thinks he's getting over on people. So you're never getting an honest interaction with him as far as I'm concerned. He had so many looks, like even the look he has on his face right now, this look right here, this little smirk that Esther Roll got on his face right here says a lot to me, and it gives me untrustworthy vibes. Okay. So I don't know, like, just how insecure Porsha is, but I swear for God, if any of the therapy was working, you would not be in this situation right now. But Aunt Liz, I do appreciate you with trying to ease some of Lauren's feelings about it, even though Lauren was just as problematic in the fight scene when her ass was hitting on Dennis because she felt like Dennis was trying to hurt heavy ass Darlene. Bitch, my shoulder hurt. She about to pull it out the socket. What you want from me? Thank you, Oliski Williams. I think that's Oliski. I think that's how you say it. Thank you for becoming a member. It's appreciated. Very much so. Okay, so then little PJ has her surgery. She wasn't really eating, I believe that when Aunt Liz and Dennis, sit down and talk, he said that whatever needed to be said was said. I don't know what the fuck that means, but based off what we've seen, Porsha gets to be absolved of any wrongdoing, and you come forth apologetic as trying to be the person that doesn't want to be pushed out of their child's life, because you can see on the horizon your crazy ass baby mama making it hard for you to be with your child now that she has another nigga. Okay, that's what it's starting to feel like. Okay, and I think that's why Dennis is more apologetic and more understanding and still is trying to consider them all family, because he does not want Porsha to push him out of their child's life. Everybody is appeasing Porsha, and Porsha sees herself in a superior placement, being able to control everything. She controls paychecks for people, and she controls whether Dennis is able to have a relationship with his child or not. And then she gets in front of us and acts as if the only reason that his relationship with his daughter has been going well is because she has respected him as PJ's father, as if she did not respect him as PJ's father, then he would not have a relationship with his child the way he would want to. And that's what I don't like. Do not put yourself in between that man and his child if that man is not a hindrance to his child. And that means if he is not harming the child in a real way, that means in a physical or sexual or abusive, any way like that, if he is not abusing his child, then you do not have the right to basically dictate how much of a parent he gets to be based off of how you feel about him and y'all's relationship. And a lot of you women do that. And I say you women because I don't have any kids, so I'm not going to include myself in that. A lot of you women do that. Y'all get mad because these niggas aren't the men you wanted them to be. And so instead of moving on with your life and allowing them to be the father they need to be regardless, because you still had a child with this person, so you still share 50% DNA and 50% responsibility for this child, okay? Like, do not make it harder for them to come and see their children. Do not make it harder. And I feel like she's always having this underlying threat of making it harder on him. And so he does what he needs to do. And so that's why Aunt Liz is showing up to tell him how proud she is of him for being a great black dad and pouring into him positively, even though being a womanizing man whore is going to have a negative long-term effect on your daughter, just like her mom's disillusionment. But that's a conversation for a longer therapy session, don't you think? Thank you so much, Scholarly Talk on Life, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Porsha is a self-centered woman who doesn't know how to love and care for others. She is going to marry him just to spite everyone and then get divorced once again. Basically, that's what we're seeing in the future. And honestly, it made me want some lemon pepper wings. Babe, do you not want a golden wing run, when I'm done? Do you not want to run to Golden Wing when I'm done? I know. They have lemon pepper wings, don't they?
No, we only got regular chicken.
So you want to get them from Wing Zone? Okay, I'm fine with that. That means we don't have to go anywhere. Did they bring sugar? Can I get more coffee?
I knew it was a coffee shop.
I might skip today and then do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's a rest day. I might jump tomorrow. I don't know. Y'all, my body is weary. Glad you liked your tea and gift. Skyly Talk on Life, you have no idea how much you bless me. Dr. Elizabeth, you have no idea how much you bless me with that damn lemongrass lavender tea. You have no idea. We make lattes out of that all day, every day. And I bought a whole nother little tin of it because I knew we was going to drink the hell out of it. Vanilla lemongrass. I'm sorry. It's vanilla lemongrass, y'all. We be putting lavender sugar in it. But that's not the point. The point is, thank you again, because I do love that. I also love the Tracy Ellis Raw stuff. It's better than water to moisturize my hair in the morning. So you absolutely put me on things that I'm about to keep buying. So thank you for that. So yes, y'all, let's move on. Londi and Porsha. Hold up. Before we move on to Londi and Porsha, let me say this. I do appreciate Aunt Liz feeling the need to pour into Dennis in a positive way because of the way Porsha played this situation out. But at the same time, he's not perfect in a situation. And I find it sometimes problematic the way the Black community is willing to lie to Black men in this attempt that if I tell him that he's a good guy, then he will then be a good guy. And I feel like, is that not what Martell's mama tried to do with him? She's constantly talking about how good of a guy he is. And every time we see him act a fool somewhere, we like, this nigga is not a good guy. This nigga's not a good guy. Okay. But moving on from there, because I just wanted to mention that was a little problematic to me. I don't think that Aunt Liz was lying to him. I didn't say that. I just feel like it's there's something problematic about the attitude of that, even though I'm not upset about it, because I feel like Dennis probably did need to hear that after everything that happened. This was all Porsha's fault, but he still is toxic in the environment that they were all in. Like him threatening to kick Dom's ass. Yeah, Dom might be messy and all of that, but my nigga, you cheated on her and got caught. Stop trying to blame other people for your issues at the end of the day. And they have that in common. And you also can't convince me that Dennis was not in some ways problematic for bringing his work onto this very short trip, especially when he got enough money to have a room that he can send his work to and then go to meet her after he's done dealing with what he was dealing with his family. But nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to bring attention to that. Okay? I'm just saying, like, everybody wants to pat Dennis on the back for not being as bad as Porsha, when at the end of the day, the nigga is just as problematic in a plethora of ways, just like Mama Gina is. But that does not mean that it makes it okay for Porsha to act an ass the way she does, to try to fight that man's mama, lunge at her, argue with her, blame her for everything that Dennis does. Dennis is an adult at this point. You cannot be mad at Mama Gina at this point that Dennis is a fuckboy, because he has a choice in whether he will be one or not. And you have a lot of misplaced anger, Porsha. A lot of that misplaced anger was towards Dennis and his work. Mama Gina didn't have anything to do with that, except for the fact that she was glad that her son was getting the upper hand after you had been there trying to make him out to be the worst fucking person in the world. Like, nobody wants to sit and listen to a table full of people talk about how their son ain't shit. Like, yeah, we understand where Mama Gina be coming from. It's aggravating because we wish if she had held him accountable instead of babying the shit out of him, maybe he wouldn't be such a dirty ass nigga. But at the same time, the past is the past, Porsha. And you got your shit with you, okay? Dennis and Porsha were not in a serious relationship because Porsha got knocked up. And we need to stop forcing relationships on parents. Baby doesn't make a committal relationship. Jennifer, I understand where you're coming from, but when Dennis and Porsha was living in that house together, deciding they was gonna make it work for baby PJ, when he asked for her to take him back after he went and fucked around on her during the pregnancy, he absolutely was saying he wanted to be in a relationship with her. Nobody was forcing them to be in a relationship. They wanted to be in a relationship. Dennis just wanted to still be able to do what he wanted to do. She was just messing with Bolo. Like, come on now. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, she messed with Bolo. What does that have to do with what we talking about right now? Like, yeah, I said she got her shit with her. We're not arguing that point. But the Bolo situation was after the baby, and it was also after the situation with him and all of the girls and all of that being in the dining and shit. Bolo happened after that. Yes, this is where I'm at with it. I find fault and issue with both of them as far as I'm concerned. But the trip and Porsha trying to make everybody out to seem like they the fucked up one, but she's not, yeah, that's on Porsha. And we're gonna get more into that because we're moving on to Londi. Okay, Londi and Porsha meet up, and I want Londi to pick a side. I want Londi to decide whether she's a pick-me little cousin that wants her pretty bigger cousin to just see her and like her and make her best friend instead of all of these random people. I don't know if she's giving that or she's giving, I'm not going to be a yes man, so Porsha don't fuck with me like that. Which one is it, Londi? Because I'm getting two different situations right now, okay? You meet up with Porsha to apologize to her for the fuck what? I don't know. And then you give her Dennis's robe and she's now saying that she don't want it and Dennis' daddy says send it back. That's how y'all know when that man was talking about how he got movers. He was talking about moving Dennis's shit up out the house. And what he meant was we gonna move it to the trash. So if you don't get it out, we will move it to the trash. Londi feels like Storm was getting involved and didn't know what was going on. And I feel like I don't appreciate the way Londi comes to sit down with Porsha so she can talk about Storm. This is not about Storm. Storm is problematic, but everybody knows that Storm is the little chihuahua parakeet for Porsha. So whatever Storm is on, usually it's probably because of Porsha. So that means everybody's issue really does need to be with Porsha and nobody else. So Londi bringing Storm up was just for what? So that you can bring attention to the fact that you feel like Porsha chooses Storm over you. And then Porsha says, well, honestly, she was just the closest to me in the moment. And they both giggle about it like it's fucking funny. It's not funny. You sound stupid. Okay? Oh my God. And then Londi says she feels like Porsha wasn't trying to see her side when they fought. Porsha says that she was the closest one sitting next to her. Londi says that Porsha made excuses for Storm. Porsha says that she is as close with Londi as she is with Storm. And I believe that because we all know that Porsha not close with nobody. All of the cousins and family members have already said that Diane and Porsha don't hit none of them up and that they only hit them up when they wanted them to come on the reality show to be buffers to the foolishness, which means take the blame. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Then Londi says that she wants them to get closer. And I think she was saying that because she was trying to make Porsha not feel like she was being attacked because Porsha was starting to be defensive. So Londi says that Dennis told me that you were the one who said to fire me. Thump, thump, thump. And that's where this face comes from down here. That's good. It's good. It's real good. Anyway, yeah. Londi asked Porsha about it. And then Porsha goes right to deflecting and making it about Londi not being a loyal enough cousin to not believe anything that Dennis says. I mean, I was happy that y'all was cool, but damn, I didn't think it was going to come around and bite me in the ass where you just believe in what he's saying. Like you really was sitting there thinking in your head, oh, this is something that Porsha would do. Yes, bitch. Because you fired her already before. And then we get into that conversation about how Londi did not know how to pack the girl's luggage and let baby oil spill all over her lambskin Chanel bag. And Porsha was like, you're fired and I hate you, get out of here. But she didn't really fire her. She waited until she hired Dom. And then when they were all sitting there together, she told her that she was fired. And then went and allowed for her to go and work with Dennis, all for her to later tell Dennis to fire her. But Porsha says that she doesn't remember that. I'm gonna just tell y'all, if somebody had ruined my lambskin Chanel bag and they were an assistant, I would probably fire them. The only thing that would have kept me from firing her was the fact that I had a lot of money and the fact that she was my cousin. Those are the only two things that would keep me from firing somebody in those circumstances. So it's not even like I was really that mad at Porsha, because like those lambskin Chanel bags are fucking nice and they cost way too much money and it was ruined. You had baby oil saturated. It was ruined. Okay. But at the end of the day, you didn't have to fire her the way you did. That was disrespectful as fuck. Lindy says that she wants to be closer to Porsha, like I said, coming off as real pick me. And then Porsha says, listen, I'm your big cousin and you weren't there for me when I was going through an abusive relationship. And Lindy was like, I was in college. And that's what I'm saying. Okay. I didn't want to spend any more time with you, just like you didn't want to spend any more time with me, girl. And then Porsha gets up and walks away and goes and talks to production. I'm fucking tired of this, okay? I'm fucking done with it. I'm fucking done with my family telling me that I don't spend time with them. Like, who the fuck was there for me? I'm sick of this shit, yo. I'm sick of this shit. The producer has to say Porsha family is important, okay? The fact that the producer has to tell her that her family's feelings matter, that's what made her come back out there and fix her face. And then she sees Lindy with the ugly cry. I didn't want to make you upset. I'm sorry. Lindy, please stop crying. Lindy, please. Lindy, listen. No, listen, Lindy. It's not you. It's okay. I love you. It's okay. It's all right. You are not upsetting me. All that matters is I love you. That's all that matters. Okay. And then Lindy feels like, yeah, I should have just kept sweeping this shit under the rug. I should have never said nothing. I should have just kept quiet. That's what I should have done. No, Lindy, you should have said what you felt and you should have stuck to your guns. And you should also stop begging Porsha for her love and attention. Fuck Porsha. That's how I'm feeling right now. Because you're not going to treat me like shit and then expect me to be crying about you. Listen, I have relationships like this with people where I feel like I have tried over and over again to make the relationship a more healthy one. And, you know, they spit in your face and then scream on you and send you evil ass long text messages. And then at some point you just have to throw your hands up and say, fuck it. Okay, knuck if you buck. All right. And when you do, you have to stick to it. You can't be like, I just want no, motherfucker. You at some point you gotta stop being a little girl. You gotta stop being a little cousin, running behind her big cousin, begging her to pay attention to her. You gotta stop being that person. And at some point you gotta be like, man, fuck all that. And I'm saying that from the heart. So Aunt Liz and Dennis meet up and talk. They talk about how PJ is what's most important. Aunt Liz, at first they was on the phone. This time they met up. Sorry. Aunt Liz tells him that he is where he's supposed to be and showing everyone what good Black fathers look like. And this is what I was talking about with all of that pouring into him and all of that shit to make him be better than he actually is. Dennis is worried about Mama Gina and Porsha's relationship because what happened on the trip has definitely, you know, brought them quite a few steps back. I feel like he needs to just stop worrying about that. At the end of the day, she'll get over it because she'll eventually run out of babysitters and y'all will need Mama Gina to take the baby. So she'll get over it eventually, okay? I'm just tired of people appeasing crazy ass baby mama bitches because they want to, you know, have the kids on the fucking lock and key and shit. Thank you for the super chat, Karen. I'm getting Cordell 2.0 from Dennis Daddy. I don't think he care about Pilar. He got big plans for Porsha. And in 2 years, Porsha is going to be in a weird space. Over 40, twice divorced, mom with a bad rep. Child, and she'll have to deal with the consequences of her decisions just like everybody else. Okay. I'm going to have to deal with it, girl, because you done made the baby. You don't have to lay in it now. She gonna have to. So y'all, Dennis feels like he and Porsha still want the best for each other at this point. And he says they were able to act like they had some sense when they were locked in that room at the hospital with PJ. Aunt Liz wants Dennis to meet the other side of Hosea Williams' family because on, you know, one side you got, you know, her family, and then on the other side you got Diane's family. And that's a different situation. I think we can all tell that Diane's family comes from a line of beautiful women that love to ignore their faults by prettying them up and you know, they just like lying about their issues. They like lying about their issues. They like to pretend like everything is perfect and pretty when it's not. They're disillusioned. They're delusional, if you will. And I think that is what Diane and her side of the family, when I see Darlene, when I see Storm, that is what they give. Okay. But this is what I have to say to Aunt Liz. Aunt Liz, while all of that may be true, at the end of the day, it does not matter what the other side of the family is giving, because Porsha is the only one that really matters, because Porsha is the mother. You don't need for Dennis to have a better understanding of the other side of the family. It doesn't matter, because ultimately it'll still be up to Porsha. Okay. But I do understand that you just don't want for Diane and them to be the representation of your family, because you feel like them hoes don't know how to act. And I understand that. And we don't feel that way, Aunt Liz. We glad that you were here to let us know what was really hood. Okay. Now, even though I'm going to say that, I'm also going to say, Aunt Liz, that you are from Porsha's father's side. And Porsha's father, to me, seemed like an emotionally abusive, womanizing alcoholic. So even though Diane and them got their shit with them, y'all got y'all shit with y'all too. Diane and them like to pretty it up with sex appeal. Y'all like to pretty it up with respectability politics. It's not that different. Just saying. Because I feel like a lot of what's wrong with Porsha is also the shit with her daddy too, and not just Diane's side and in the shit that Diane has given Porsha. It's also been some of the shit that her daddy has given her. Okay. So we see the Hosea Helps is opening and they raised $2 million. It's a beautiful thing. I think the warehouse and them being dressed in the clothing and, you know, in the jumper he will wear, the overalls he will wear to show that he was not that far away from the common man. Like, all of that is beautiful. Black people that did something for their communities, that are still doing something for their communities, that passed that down through their family line. I think that is very important. And I feel like maybe in a few years, if Porsha can really be honest with herself about what that means to her, I think that she might be able to do something in that sector where it's giving people money, you know, having events for certain charity things, because everybody plays their position. Everybody don't need to be out on the front line, but there are some people that can pack a beautiful room with beautiful people who can write checks to help with certain things. And I think that Porsha will eventually be more of a socialite type person at the end of the day when it comes to her, you know, doing her part in helping the way her family has. But honestly, I feel like the family has, you know, put that on her, that this is what she's supposed to be. And I don't think it's an honest, you know, depiction of who she is in her life at this point. You're not, really out here doing that work. You were for a minute, for a little minute in time. You really were traveling and going to different, help me, y'all, going to different Black Lives Matter protests and all of that. She was doing that, y'all. And at the end of the day, I feel like I don't want to discount somebody's work I don't feel like we can rewrite history just because we found out that Porsha ain't shit. Porsha can be ain't shit and still went out there and got arrested and still was out there on the front line picketing and protesting for things that matter to Black people. So at the end of the day, I can look at that and be like, yeah, you may not have been in that for the reasons you should have been in that for, but it's not because we were in the Black Lives Matter movement. It's because it's a part of her family's history to be a part of those types of things. And so I feel like with her having it only seemed right to Porsha based off her family to use Real Housewives during that time to draw attention to what was going on. But because her heart wasn't in the right place with it, it then takes a very egotistical standpoint. It takes the standpoint of being more about how it makes her look than being about what it's supposed to be about. Okay. But I think the overall thought process is not just, oh, this makes me look good, but also this is what my family expects of me. So I can do all of these things at the same time. But because she's not somebody that's very introspective, she's not somebody that's very in tune with who she is. Those types of commitments take people to really know who they are in it and be committed to what they're doing about it. You don't see no shake in Tamika Mari because that's what that lady's supposed to be doing. Okay. So I feel like with people like Porsha that are born into these families known for something, they want to fit into those shoes, but they don't have the fortitude. They don't have the bandwidth that it requires for them to. Okay. But I still feel like her body being out there present to protest, it's still her being a part of the movement when she was. And I don't want to discount that because that's like acting like it didn't happen. And it did happen. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yes, moving on from there. I love the way like nigga be like, breaking it down and giving y'all like different sides of something and saying I understand several different sides of something. While all while still saying we recognize that somebody does not need to be doing something. Okay. But still understanding the mindset behind it isn't as clear cut as everybody would like for it to be. Everybody would like to feel like, oh, she just decided to do this because it would make her look good. And it's like, yeah, it would. But ultimately, if her family wasn't already involved in the civil rights movement, she wouldn't have felt compelled to do that. Like, I'm just saying. Right. Like it doesn't change the fact that she still did that and she still put herself in harm's way. So that's why I don't like to specifically go at her for that because I feel like the work was still done. But I feel like we know exactly nuances. Thank you. But I think we know that we probably won't see Porsha doing any real protesting anymore, like or anytime soon for that matter, because she's deep diving in the I don't give a fuck about what y'all think about me mindset that she has to have in order to deal with the amount of backlash she's getting from Dennis Daddy and all of this shit on the show. Okay. She faked because she didn't even know about the Underground Railroad. Oh, y'all always love going back to that. And I would just like to implore you to remember, Brittany, that yes, she did not know everything she needed to know. She didn't. She did not. But she still went to the protest, which is more than I did. So I can't talk shit. Do you understand what I mean when I say that? You know what I'm saying? It's not that it's not lost upon us that this is not something that's really truthfully important to Porsha as a person, but more so important to her as it pertains to her family legacy. And I think she does care about that. It was fake. Porsha only cares about Porsha. Yes. But yes, I'm gonna move on from there because I feel like people, sometimes don't be getting nuances and shit. And I be explaining it from a standpoint of understanding multiple sides of it. And I think people think that there's something to disagree with when I don't think there's anything to really disagree with about it. But okay. Porsha pretends to make Simon Nigerian food, and he comes over in some tight ass pants to show her that he's finally divorced from Fallon. So now Porsha can go through with planning a wedding, and I think this was her attempt at getting another season to this show, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if she gonna, y'all. I don't think it's gonna happen. Did this show do well for her? Do we think? I don't know. I don't think so. So yeah, Porsha didn't show up to Hosea Help the Homeless because baby PJ was dehydrated, so they had to take her to the hospital. And Dennis Daddy went as a representative for the family. And Aunt Liz isn't really thinking about Porsha not being there as a bad thing because, what's most important is the baby and to still do what they needed to do for Hosea Feed the Hungry, which is showcase this facility and what they're doing on a public platform like Real Housewives. Like that was the point at the end of the day. And Porsha made sure the cameras were there, I'm sure. Producers made sure the cameras were there, so Aunt Liz's real work could have been shown either way. Okay. So this is when the mess happens. Simon then shown up in some tight ass clothes once again and tells Aunt Liz that Porsha is from solid stock And they need to start showing her some more respect and treating her as Hosea Williams' granddaughter, okay? Treating her better. And Liz just kind of had a smile on her face, like, oh, all right, well, then you know what, Dennis Daddy, I sure do love you. All right, we thank you for coming. All right, baby. She kept it cute, but in the confessional, she said, nigga, that's your job to make sure that Porsha is being respected and treated well. We treat her very well in this family. Well, we could just be telling all of her business about how fake she is, but we don't. Go to hell, Esther Rowe. Go to hell. That's basically how Liz felt. So 4 months go by, and Dennis and Porsha are still having issues co-parenting for some reason. So she shows up with a Fendi bodysuit on and a black fur vest. He pulled out a chair. He complimented her fur, and she just had to let him know that it was a gift from his daddy when she was on her press tour. And he asked, oh, well, how is the engagement going? I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard anything about the house or anything. She was like, oh, do you care? And he was like, yeah, I care. I want to know what the fuck going on with my child's mother and where you're going to be living and all of that. And she was like, well, we just closed on the house and you'll find out where it is when you come and drop PJ off. I'm like, so you're being childish about letting this man know where you're moving. And then you're talking about looking at schools as if he isn't going to have a say in what school PJ ends up going to. You're doing a lot of things that's making Dennis feel like you're going to try to fuck him over when it comes to making decisions for his daughter. So we find out that Dennis sent some paperwork, okay, a few days before, 10 days or so before, so that Porsha can know he wants to do a actual court agreement. I forgot, he said it's called a co-parenting program where they basically sit down and agree upon everything, vacations, schools, who pays this, who pays that, so that everything is clear and cut. Porsha wanted them to just sit down at the kitchen table and put it on a calendar what they were going to do, but she doesn't want to bring a judge into the situation. Let me just say this. I'm not about to do this blow by blow shit with them. Porsha is trying to make that man jealous. That man is over it. He doesn't care at this point. I do feel like Dennis wanted to still have access to Porsha. I do. I even think that maybe Dennis wanted to want the family, but that's not what he really wants for himself. He wants to be a man who, fucks on whoever he wants to fuck on. Or maybe, Porsha, you just weren't the one for him, girl. But either way, I feel like it doesn't mean he doesn't still have feelings for her. It doesn't mean he still doesn't want to fuck her. But I feel like this is two people who are trying to pretend like they're not into each other anymore. And I just don't see it that way. I think that Porsha is very much still into Dennis. I think the way she dressed, I think telling Dennis that, his mom and him are Pilar's family and not her family was a way to try to hurt him. I think she's constantly in a space of trying to make him pay for the fact that he did not make the right choice as far as she's concerned. And that was to choose her and Pilar and make, them his family. She's always trying to make him pay for that. And so I feel like that's exactly what she was doing in this scene. Okay, talking about I was trying to turn you into a brother. How you was trying to turn a man into a brother that you was fucking less than 8 months ago. Less than 8 months ago, you had some of Dennis dick in your guts. And you want to tell us that now you want to turn him into a brother? Girl, go to hell with this. I don't know who you're talking to, who you're talking about, or what's going on here. But I just feel like Porsha is in fucking la la land. You owe Dennis an apology. You owe his mom an apology. Like, you owe your family members an apology, and they're never going to get it from you because you're too immature and self-centered to be honest with them and yourself about what's really happening here. You are really not that into Dennis Daddy, and you know you're not. And now you're sitting up here getting mad and irate because this man wants to take this situation to a judge talking about, I can meet you where you are. Meet me where I'm at then, bitch. Meet me down there at the courthouse. Okay? Then the way she got upset at the waitress, like it's the waitress' fault the food came out when you and this nigga arguing. Girl, what? It's not the waitress' fault. It is not the waitress' fault. Hi Vibe, thank you for the super chat. If this series were a person, it would be a diagnosed schizophrenic. The family has inappropriate reactions, agitation, disordered thinking and behavior, and just delusions. Well, I appreciate that assessment because that's what it feels like. They're all a bunch of fucking weirdos. Everybody is talking about, Porsha isn't I mean, everybody's sitting up there talking about Porsha ain't shit, and then when they talk to Porsha, it's like, girl, it's not completely your fault. Let me apologize to you. What? Thank you, Danny Ingram from the super chat. I don't fault Porsha for using her platform, but just have to understand that just because you use your platform doesn't mean that you're an activist. So we all have to be careful how we assign that role. I agree, Danny. I agree. You are a social media influencer that was using your platform for a good cause, bitch. That was it. That was it. I do feel like y'all are right about that. And we can say that you are not a real activist because I feel like real activism is a lifelong thing. It's something that people are very involved in as a career, not just something that they're involved in for 5 minutes. So my assessment is that yes, Porsha has lost her mind. Porsha thinks that she can just ignore things until they go away, and that's not how any of this works, especially not when we have all this video footage of you acting a fucking fool. I don't think you've learned from anything. I don't think you've learned from anything. I don't think you've learned from the past violent outbursts you've had, and I don't think you've learned from this past one because nobody has really held you accountable for it. Everybody has basically made it seem like you were not in the wrong and you were. So you're going to move on from here thinking that how you reacted on that trip was okay, and it was not. Get your fucking self together. Because this is just sad, and you're 40 years old, and your ass is too big to be falling all over people out of control like that. Trust me, as a mother with a very toxic child's father, they should both want a court order. I think so too. I don't know why she's fighting him on this. What's going on with them book sales now? Huh. Girl, it seems like Dennis called the meeting because she was already acting funny style with PJ. Yes, it does. He even said, you got up in the middle of the night and decided to go to the fucking jungle. You can't just be taking my baby to the jungle without calling me first. There's every family has their demons, and then there's this dumpster fire. Exactly. She had more chemistry with Dennis in this scene than with Simon this whole season. Oh, you saw it too, huh? You saw it too? That bitch was smoldering for that nigga. I was just like, child, y'all want fuck right now. I can tell. Porsha wants this baby daddy drama and needs it because she's been trying to paint the narrative he's a bad father. As long as they're fighting, she can try and make Dennis look bad. I agree. The only reason that I didn't really think she used I mean, I guess they used the protest for a storyline, but it wasn't given storyline because we only talked about it for like 2 episodes. It wasn't given storyline. It was given, this is what we were doing at the time because everybody moved to do something during that time. And then once the movement was over, we went ahead and moved on from the movement. That's what it feels like. It's funny how things pan out because whoever told her to write a book did so when she was a fan fave of Real Housewives, but the show makes her less of a fan fave. Oxymoron. Honestly, it's stupid that she decided not to go back to Real Housewives because I almost feel like she would have came out looking better if she had taken her ass back to the show and just dealt with the women trying to hold her accountable for, all of her bullshit. Like, you would have had a better chance not looking as crazy as you did if you had Real Housewives to fight with. If you had other women who were sometimes just as annoying as you, to be the bad guy for you. So because there was no Kenya there to argue and fight with, because there was no, other personality for you to get into it with, we were forced to just look at you and just deal with you as you are and how you deal with the people around you that you care about. Because to be clear, we can act like what we're seeing now is indicative of every time that Porsha done got into it on Real Housewives, but that's bullshit because everybody got their issues. Everybody. Period. Everybody got their issues, but we all know where Porsha has been fucked up. And what we have now seen is that Porsha knows the language to make people feel like she's grown and changed, but she's a backsliding ass. And we was hoping for the best. But it didn't turn out that way. She should have just went back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, girl, because I feel like this was a hot steaming pile of dog shit that nobody needed or asked for. Once you decided that you could not make a whole show about your activism, then you should have just deaded it, because nothing about you and Dennis Daddy is entertaining. The only thing that was entertaining was you trying to fight Dennis and creating drama with his mom so that you can come out smelling like a bunch of roses when roses smell like, oh, doo-doo. Yeah, that's what it feels like. But anyway, you guys, can you like the video? Thank you so much, Ebony Coates, for the super chat. She missed an opportunity to advertise Go Naked, her book and tour, as well as her sheets. The baby daddy, sugar daddy drama should have been a side story. Child, she is losing focus, losing sight of what's important out here. I've been wanting to try those sheets too. Porsha is a different type of problematic than most housewives. She's the worst kind of friend or family member to have. I disagree with the first half of this. I don't think Porsha is any different type of problematic than anybody else on these fucking reality shows. Y'all are not about to do that. Some are worse than others for sure. But I absolutely feel like there are a whole bunch of problematic white women on Bravo's network that are just as problematic, if not more, than Porsha. Let's not try to differentiate like she's the worst of everybody because she's self-centered, when it seems like a lot of the housewives are self-centered. And if they have family still around them, they probably treat their family like shit sometimes, because being a housewife makes them feel like they're above everybody. But yes, this was a shitty look. Okay, this was a shitty look. But what I don't like and what I don't want is for everybody to try to paint Porsha out to seem like she's the worst housewife to ever, be on the show, as if we don't have women over there on some of those other shows that are just as self-centered and voted for Trump. Like, sorry, but we're not going to go down that long walk. Thank you so much, Air Amazing, for the super chat. PJ needs a sibling. She needs another person to join her on the journey of being Porsha's child. People in therapy are the result of people who did not go to therapy. So since Porsha's not in therapy, not gonna speak on a child. Thank you for the super chat. I understand what you mean, though. I hope she gets herself together, but I don't know if it's going to happen, because I don't see her wanting to be accountable, knowing how to say sorry. Like, those are red flags, y'all. It's just what it is. But I'm done. I don't have anything else to say about this. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I appreciate y'all for coming through. I've set up a schedule for my videos for the remainder of the week. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. And come back tomorrow for us to do Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion in Jocelyn's Cabaret. Okay? I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.